I'm about to save you hours of research. If you're in the middle of making a baby registry, I have a feeling if you clicked on this, you are. That level of like research you start doing on like one thing, and then you go like you're looking up, you're researching strollers, then you're researching. It is a lot and it is overwhelming. I know I've been through it. I know you're going through it. So hopefully this video will be incredibly helpful and full of a wealth of information for you of specific recommendations. We're going to be talking about all those things that I feel like are often forgotten to be placed onto a baby registry. And these are my ideas, but I also asked you guys on my Instagram and you guys came through. And a lot of these that I added to my list were ones that were mentioned tons of times by many people that they feel like most people don't think to put on the registry, but these are super useful, essential items, okay? I'm also so excited to share that this video is sponsored by Babylist. That is the registry that everyone is using. I feel like I hear about it everywhere. If you are not using Babylist, let me tell you why you should be. Babylist is a universal registry, and that is the key right there. Because that means if you see an item on Nordstrom or Etsy or Target or Amazon, you can add things from any website all to this one single registry list. Years ago, when I was first creating my baby registry, I didn't know of Babylist. I really wish I had, because I was using two registries. I think it was like Target and Amazon. And there were so many things, like a personalized blanket I would find on Etsy, cute little jacket on Nordstrom, and I would wish that I could add it to my registry, but I couldn't. And with Babylist, you can. I really like if you are on like your laptop or an iPad or your computer and you download their browser button, you could be on any site, find something that you want to add to your registry, click the little Babylist button, it adds to your registry. Like I said, it'll auto categorize everything for you. But I also really like that they have options for asking for cash funding for something. You can do group gifts on there where people can donate bits of money until you get to like the amount to be able to buy, let's say, the car seat. You can toggle on if you are open to receiving a specific item secondhand. And the best part is if you've already started a registry, you can actually import your registry to Babylist and then keep going from there. I will have a link below to start creating your registry with Babylist. Like I said, it's free, easy to use. You can import a registry you've already started to it. If you're not using it, I promise it will make your life so much easier. Definitely check out Babylist at the link below. Let's dive into the top 20 most forgotten items on a baby registry. Okay, so everything that I mentioned, I will link below my specific recommendation for that item, the thing that either I've personally used or someone close to me has and we have loved. It withstood the test of time, it was well made, it was worth the money, or like something you could actually save the money on and get the cheaper version. It's just as good. Okay, number one, a car camera. Now, I have to be honest, when I first heard about a car camera, first of all, I thought it'd be expensive. It's not. Second of all, I thought it was like, okay, that's a little much, okay? You really need a camera. When I tell you that stinking car camera, it was like 30 bucks on Amazon, something like that. I'll link the exact one we have because we have loved it and it has lasted years. It's so simple to set up. It's not a big deal. And you can like really see your baby. And the mirror is great, except for, you know, you're kind of, the camera, you've got the little feed right there. So you're driving, you can see clearly, and it's like, I don't know if it's like HD quality, but it's like decent quality. So I love that. It gives me so much peace of mind and it's a little bit safer. I feel like when I'm driving, I'm not having to turn around to look at the mirror and it's a clearer picture anyway. So, you know, the mirror I feel like can range from $10 to $20. The camera is around like 30 to 40, depending on which one you get. So, you know, I love the camera, especially if this is your first and you're thinking you might have even more. It's really gonna pay for itself over and over again. So highly recommend that. I don't hear a lot of people talk about that, but that was such a game changer. I didn't have with my first baby, but I did have with my second. And man, oh man, I loved it. Okay, I know everyone talks about the snot suckers. There's the electric ones, there's the Frida one. Can we talk about the booger picker? Because that was one of my most used items, especially with my second baby, because they'd get a little crusty, you know, and you can't get your fingers too big to kind of get in there. That thing, it's tiny, but you can just get the boogie out. You could even get some snot out with it, you know. It is amazing. It is so inexpensive. It usually comes in like a little 2-pack. That thing is so useful. And I feel like I ended up using that more often than I actually use the snot sucker. And it's very effective. So it's not exactly the same thing. I think you should register for both, but it's just a very useful tool. I would just keep it at my little changing station so I could use it when I'm changing the diaper, get a little boogie out, you know, Do a little dance. So number 3, stroller accessories. But let me be specific. A stroller fan will be one of the most useful items, and it will not just be useful for the baby stage, it will be useful forever. Forever. And I have to say, register for 2. Get one for yourself and one for the baby. Because when you're pushing the stroller, like we'll do trips to Disney and it's, 105 degrees and humid and like, why are we here? It's so hot, Or you're going to the zoo in the summer where you live or whatever it is. It's hot and you want to keep your sweet little baby cool. And so getting one that has the 3 legs that wrap around and you can kind of reposition is key. And getting one that has the misting function is even better. I'll link my favorite below. We have tried a lot of these, you guys, a lot. And I have found one that I feel like is the longest lasting, the battery life, but also just like longevity. And it's got that misting function. But get 2, have one wrapped around on the bar that you're pushing, and then that one's facing you. And you're both staying cool, and everyone's calm, collected, and fine. I'm telling you, register for 2, you won't regret it. But also a stroller organizer. I do have a favorite one. I have tried some of the more expensive ones, and I actually like this particular one on Amazon the best of all the ones I've tried. I really like that it has the wipe section in the front so you can have wipes sticking out. You will use those wipes like crazy to wipe up, especially as they get a little bit older, wiping up messes, hands, fingers, stickiness, whatever. But also stroller clips, getting some high quality stroller clips. I recently bought a fresh set because I'd had the same ones for like 5 years, but those are so nice because you can hang a little bag on them, a grocery bag. You can actually clip your diaper bag to it. Now, some diaper bags do come with the stroller clips, and I don't know, maybe you could see which diaper bag you're getting and see if it comes with it. Maybe you don't need to register for it, but I register for ones that are really, really strong. But I don't think, if you are getting a diaper that you probably don't need to register for both. You really just won't use 2 sets. I think that was another little side lesson I learned is sometimes more is more, but sometimes less is more. And when I would end up with multiple sets of things that I really only need one set, like a thing of like stroller clips, it ended up like I'd feel guilty getting rid of it because someone bought it for me, but I just didn't need it. And so then years had passed by and I'm like, well, didn't end up using those. I shouldn't have registered for them. So just a little thing to think about. Number 4, a humidifier. This is one of the most important things you could register for because when your sweet little baby is sick, especially if they're under 6 months, you can't really give them much medicine, if any, depending on what's going on. They will inevitably get a cold, the flu, and it's gonna break your heart because you're gonna wanna heal them, but you can't. And the first thing your pediatrician will tell you is get a humidifier going in their room and then, XYZ. A humidifier is essential. I think I would just have it on all of the time, but especially when you have the heat on in the house, that creates dry air and it affects all of us actually, but especially sweet little babies and especially if they're sick. So find one you like. I will link 2 different ones that we personally love and have used for years below. My favorite one is one that is actually dishwasher safe. That's insane. If you have tried humidifiers, the worst part about owning them is cleaning them, and you have to clean them or else they'll get moldy and mildewy and gross. But this one, the parts are dishwasher safe and it's amazing. It is a game changer. Okay, number 5, toddler items. You guys, your sweet little baby will grow, and I wish I had registered for more items for when they're over the age of like 1, let's say. Things like cups and utensils. Usually we're thinking bottles, and of course, absolutely register for bottles and get an assortment pack because you just don't know what will stick. And little utensils, baby spoons and forks, but maybe little toddler spoons and forks. Sometimes they're similar, but cups. I've got some absolute favorite cups if you're wanting to do like glass cups, but you don't want them to break. I found some that I absolutely love on Amazon. I still use today with my like 7-year-old and my 3-year-old, Those silicone bibs that have the little catcher, because as they get older and they're eating real food, oatmeal, having that caught and not having to clean it up off your floor and chair is really, really nice. So we still sometimes use those bibs with our 3-year-old. I know that's crazy. I don't know, maybe it's not crazy, but she's a messy eater and we'll put a fresh outfit on her. And I'm like, I'm putting the bib on if she's eating oatmeal or like cream of wheat, whatever. It just gets everywhere. And also a booster seat. We found one that just goes right on a regular chair. And it was kind of a game changer. And of course that's for like an older toddler that can handle that. But it was so nice to have because she can sit up at the table with us. It's comfy, it's easy to wipe clean, but it's securely strapped to the seat, Okay, this is a random one, but one that was one of the first things I thought about when planning for this video. Number 6, you need some sort of like fold up small tote. I feel like you will find 1,000,001 uses for that little bag. Whether you're doing an impromptu trip to the library and you're like, ooh, I don't have a bag to hold the books. Boom, you got a bag. Just keep it in your diaper bag. Make sure it folds small, but they're usually really sturdy and strong. You could use it to kind of hold, like, oh, we changed the outfit and the outfit's kind of messy and I want to keep it separate. Throw it in that bag. An impromptu little pool bag, like it serves so many purposes. Maybe you're cleaning out the car and you're like, I just need to throw all these things in a bag to get them inside the house, all these toys and books and whatever. It is just so useful. I can't tell you how many times I have used a little foldable tote bag, and I need to take my own advice and continue to make sure it's back in the diaper bag, because I always am like, dang it, where is that thing? You would just be shocked how often you use it. And on that note, if you didn't register for some sort of wet bag, we love these ones from, I can't think of the brand name, but they have a lot of different patterns. And again, they're so useful. We'll usually keep our extra set of clothes in the bag and have that in the diaper bag. So if anything's spilled in the diaper bag, it doesn't get on the clean clothes, but then we also have this wet bag. If we need to change the clothes and the clothes are dirty, we can put them in there. So it serves multiple purposes. Okay, number 7, you need a bubble machine, okay? And you're gonna think that I'm insane, and I am insane. But the amount of use we have gotten out of a bubble machine, and again, I'm talking from the age of like, once they can like reason and like sit up and look around, they will love bubbles. And it is a lot of work to keep, it's a lot of work, okay? And you can do it, and we still have that too, and that's fun in its own right. But to just turn on a little bubble machine in the backyard and let them marvel at it, and as they get bigger, crawl towards it, and as they are walking, run around and pop them. We have games, we have little bubble dance parties in the backyard. And again, now my kids are 3 and 7, and we still use that same bubble machine. It's amazing. So I know it sounds weird and silly, but a bubble machine will get so much use in your life. I promise. Bubbles are like a big deal to kids. By the way, the idea of a bubble machine never occurred to me until we were at the library years ago, and it was like in this little thing, and it was like a special story time. And at the end of story time, it was like a sing-along thing, and she turned on the bubble machine, and this was like 1 and 2-year-olds, and watching those, that like all the children so excited about these bubbles that were just continually, it was absolutely magical. And that was when I was like on Amazon ordering a bubble machine. Okay, number 8, clips for your pacifiers and your bottle/sippy cups. Pacifier clips, I feel like, are one item that you might forget to add, but they are super useful. You definitely want more than one, but you don't need a ton. I think at one point I had like 10, and I'm like, okay, this is way too many. I needed like 2 to 3, but it's just so nice if you have a kid that takes a pacifier during the day. I didn't usually have it clipped on them at night. I think you're probably not supposed to, you know, and just kind of thinking about it. But anyway, but during the day, you know, they're crawling around, or they're, you know, you're holding them and you're in public and you don't want that pacifier to be dropping all over the floor. It's just so nice. And I do feel like it's one of those items that's great to add because it's a little less expensive. So people looking at your registry can kind of think through like how much they can spend, and you know what I mean? It's nice to have a balance. But also straps for your cups. This is something that we discovered when traveling with the kids. And I like ones that are like stretchy because then it can fit any cup, but you can strap it to the high chair. You can strap it to their stroller. I mean, having it so that when they're in that phase, and they will get to a phase where they just, when they're done with the cup, they just throw it because they don't understand. And I was so tired of picking up the bottle or the sippy cup from the floor. It was so gross that I'm like, I feel like we can't use this. Like, it is so nice to have. Then it's just kind of floating around. You can pick it up. Like, it is so fantastic. So that is something very inexpensive, very, very, very useful. I would always just keep one in my diaper bag. Number 9, a bottle cooler bag. Now, this depends on how you end up feeding your baby. And, you know, like if you've got breast milk you need to keep cold and it's like pumped and in a bottle. We ended up formula feeding a lot. Breastfeeding was such a struggle for me. And when you have your baby, like I wanted to breastfeed so badly, and it was heartbreaking. It was hard, but in the end it worked out so well. And I have 2 thriving kids that had a lot of formula, and they're great. They're smart. They're well-adjusted little kids, you know. So I want to say this now before you even get into that phase, because there's a chance it might not work, and it's okay. And I promise, like I read something recently that said, it was like from a teacher, and I used to teach elementary too, but I was like 5th grade. Although it would apply to that too, but it basically said, I can't tell which kids were bottle fed, breastfed, formula fed, you know, whatever. I can't tell which kids were this, that, and the other, but I can tell which kids were read to. and we're loved and we're whatever. And I'm like, those are the essentials. Make sure your baby is fed, but make sure you're doing those other loving things, because it's just such a journey. Why are you guys letting me get off on a tangent? I don't know, but it was such a journey for me here and there. And so I want to share that, because I think having a healthy viewpoint of it might not work for you, and that's okay. And in the end, it won't matter how they were fed. So let that noodle around, so that way when you have the baby, if you have issues, I got you. Sorry. So a bottle cooler bag, it's nice to have. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could hold 1 or 2 bottles. Ideally, it's one that you could still fit in your diaper bag, so you're not having to carry it separate. I think that's one thing that would make me crazy. So it's nice when it can fit in the bag itself. Number 10, consumables. Think things like baby wash, baby shampoo, laundry detergent, stain remover spray, baby safe like sunscreen, all of those things that you will go through multiple bottles of. It's nice to have registered for. Plus you can register for the ones you want. There are so many different, baby washes, body wash, like all those things, sunscreens. I'll link the ones that are our go-tos below. If you know you're looking for a specific thing in the sunscreen or whatever, this is a perfect way to register for the exact kind you would want, so that people can buy you those. Sunscreen, I wouldn't register for a bunch though, because it does eventually, expire. Number 11, register for clothing past 6 to 12 months, okay? Register for some 2T clothes, some 3T clothes, because first of all, your baby might grow fast and you might be in those sooner than you think, but it's nice to have like a little bit of clothing waiting in the wings for as they are bigger, because once you get to that point, like I feel like I had clothes from up to 1 year, and then after that I was buying everything every time. So to be able to kind of spread it out and only have to buy a little bit when you get to the different sizes because you already had some things is really nice. I had so many clothes for that first year, and so many of it barely got used, and I wish I had thought to just register for some bigger stuff and just spread it out, baby. Spread it out. And I always say, think through which season they would most likely be in that size. They generally, once they get to 2T and 3T, I feel like they'll stay in that size for like 9 months or so anyway. So you'll see, if you live where there are seasons, you'll see a few seasons, but it's something to think about as you're picking items to add. Number 12, teething items. Think teething gel, teething, like those things you can put in the fridge that are cool for them. There was this one teether. It wasn't one you like put in the fridge, but that was their favorite. It's like a funny shape. It was on Amazon. I'll link it below. The reviews are astounding. Like, people love this, and I get it. My kid, my second one that had this, absolutely loved this teether. It was the one she always wanted, and she would just go to town on that thing. So definitely don't forget to register for a few teethers. You don't need 10, but definitely a couple. Number 13, baby proofing items. This is so important. Attaching your dresser, your nightstand, whatever, to the wall. I cannot stress the importance of this enough. I just read a news article recently about it. It can be so scary, and it doesn't take a lot of time for you or your spouse, whatever, to do the work. But any furniture in their room, definitely attached to the wall. Even if it's a small table, just do it. But even think through in your house, if there's anything that, if they climbed this and this fell on them, you might consider attaching. There are definitely things in other rooms of our home that we did attach to the wall for that exact reason. So just something to think about. Also, you could do corner bumpers if you need it. They have like the kinds you can stick on, like a fireplace ledge, like all kinds of places. You don't have to go crazy with baby proofing, but if you know there are certain areas in your house that you would want to, think through what that solution would look like and add it to your registry. Baby gates, that's really nice. We have one, we have tried like 5 baby gates. We finally found one we absolutely love because it completely opens all the way. So when it's open, it's not like in the way. It's in our like upstairs. I'll have to show you. It's at the top of our stairs. But I'll link that one below because that is definitely our fave. Number 14, breastfeeding supplies. Things like cold compresses, pumping bags, maybe butter, nipple butter. Those kinds of things that you'd want and would use. This is the perfect place to ask for it. Plus you can find the ones you really, really want. All of those will be useful. I promise you, all of those will be useful. And I'm going to piggyback on that. This is going to be like bonus 14. Also, postpartum supplies. You're gonna need these too. I would say just get a kit that's got it all. I'll link one that I recommend below, but these are all items you will use, and it's nice to not have to buy them yourself. So, again, why not add it? If no one gets it for you, then you can buy it yourself, but something you can add to it that I feel like people don't think to put on their registry. Number 15, an air purifier. This is maybe above and beyond, but we recently put air purifiers in both of the girls' rooms. their rooms smell better, but not only that, it's kind of getting rid of just some of the nonsense that might be in the air. You know, if I'm spraying hairspray in my hair in the other room, well, that eventually gets in there, you know? So to have an air purifier in both of their rooms, I'll remember to turn it on while they're sleeping. I try to keep it on all day, but you know, it is just nice. They don't have to be super expensive. We do have a favorite below, but definitely something to consider registering for. I would say the hierarchy though is humidifier first, air purifier second. Okay, number 16, outdoor fun things, okay? Think a water table. Again, you wouldn't use it maybe the first 6 to 12 months, but eventually you will, and you will use it like crazy. A sun hat, sunglasses, a little sprinkler that as they're bigger, they can run through. That first year is gonna feel long, but it's also gonna fly by. And it's nice to have some things that you already have in the wings to be able to play with. Number 17, first aid items. You could do a whole set that you register for. I would say things, medicines like Tylenol, maybe think of gas drops, vitamin D drops if you're planning on nursing, Band-Aids, a really dependable thermometer. I finally found one I really like, but thermometers, man, I feel like we've gone through a lot of those. So, and usually I always say, have two. Have two, because then you can kind of check it, take the average of both. Like 18 organizers. Think dresser drawer organizers for all their little socks, their little things, their little hair bows, whatever. But also maybe like a diaper caddy organizer. I think that one is not usually forgotten, but I figured I'd just throw it in here. That's always nice to have, especially if you know, like you'll change some diapers maybe in the bedroom at the little changing station, but maybe you have 2 floors in your house and you know you also might just be changing them downstairs. Having that caddy down there so you have 2 spots, so you're not having to go all the way upstairs to change a diaper every time, that is huge that first year. If you have a home with more than one level, definitely have something on both floors. Just make your life easier. Number 19, gift cards. Think Doordash or Uber Eats delivery, like meal delivery gift cards. Huge, right? Grocery delivery, like Instacart or whatever, you know, think about where you live, whatever you could use. Ask for those gift cards. A massage gift card. One of you guys on my Instagram, and I asked this, commented and said, you know, someone got me a massage gift card. And when I went to that massage, I don't know, a couple months postpartum, she was like, I cried the whole time. It was amazing. Like, that's so nice. So a massage gift card would be a great thing to register for. And number 20, cash funding ideas. So maybe you want a little bit of a pool of cash for your maternity leave. Maybe you want stuff to go towards their college fund. Maybe you're opening a 529 plan. Maybe you just want like some grocery gift cards or whatever to be able to buy diapers and wipes, things like that. So those are my top 20 most forgotten items / categories for your baby registry list. I would say if you are into this topic and you are deep in the trenches of making a baby registry, watch this video next. These are the top 15 things I think everyone should have on their baby registry. Again, my specific recommendations. It's not like anything I mentioned here. It's more of the high-level things that you might be researching a lot. And then after that, check out this other video, which is all of the things I also kind of regret buying or regret putting on my baby registry and why, you know, comparing some of the more expensive items from less expensive and some of the expensive things I wish I didn't buy, I wish I'd saved the money, etc. Especially thinking about like things like the SNOO and the Up a Baby Vista stroller, like all the, I know the world. So definitely check out those 2 videos. I will have them linked below to watch next. Thank you again to Babylist, of course, for sponsoring. If you're ready to start your baby registry now, click the link below to get started. It is super easy, I promise. It is amazing that you can add items from absolutely any website to your Babylist registry. And again, if you've already started a registry, it'll import it for you. So that link will be down below for you in a pinned comment and in the description box. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you stick around, subscribe. I vlog my daily life every single week. If you're into just hanging out together, we'll meal plan together, grocery hauls, little beauty and makeup things, we'll shop, whatever, and we'll chat about books too. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.